All right, we are back. That was pretty fast.
So much has changed.
Wow. Yes, I know. So much has changed in so little time. We are back. Thanks for sticking with us. We call this After the MMA Beat. You've sent us questions. Hashtag the MMA Beat. Let's get to it. Let's get to question number one. Last time we did this, it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the questions this time around. Let's not waste any time. What do we got? What do we got? All right, here we go. Is it inevitable, my friends, that the UFC reduces the number of pay-per-views after their TV deal is finalized? So now they do around 12 to 13. Yeah. We'll see what, I mean, they're contracted to do X amount of shows just based off of what Fox, bought. So they're not going to change anything before that deal. We've been asking them to change. We've been saying there's too many shows. But do you foresee, let's kind of open this up a little bit, do you foresee once the new TV deal is signed that the UFC will end up doing less shows to sort of bolster the cards?
Less shows or less pay-per-view?
I'm gonna do shows in total because that includes pay-per-views.
Gosh, I'm not sure. I think that they will. Something will be different, and that I would not be surprised if they have deals with various TV networks so that they put some things on different, maybe the pay-per-views are cut back, but they're putting something on Fox or ESPN or one of the networks. So I would see more that it gets distributed to a wider place. If you want to watch the UFC now, you pretty much know it's going to be on Fox, one of the Fox arms, or you're going to see it on pay-per-view, or it's going to be on their own website. I think that it's going to broaden to your, sort of like the way the NFL is, where you never know, where it's going to be. It's going to be on all these different networks.
What do you think, John?
I suspect it'll be less shows, but it's very difficult to know. I mean, ultimately, because you look, especially when you're talking about the pay-per-view model, because we've always talked about it's a pay-per-view model that's now fitting into other spheres, and their website, especially trying to get things to the web and things like that. But to me, when you look at it, especially some of these pay-per-views this year, and you're like, wow, this should not be a pay-per-view. Yeah. That's tough to sustain, especially as fatigue, just things set in over time with this. There's no off season. It just goes on and on. You wonder at what point some of the diehards, that core group that would always purchase anything, starts to go away or erode. You know what I mean? And you wonder, can they replenish that? And I feel like that's the question is, will it lose steam? And I feel like the best way to gain steam is to have less. I feel like they're kind of catching on that a little bit, but that's more of a hunch than we're seeing actual play out right this second.
Yeah. I would agree with you guys. They really struggled to make some of these pay-per-views big. And I feel like moving forward, they're gonna want to chase sort of the bigger buys as opposed to having, a lot of pay-per-views. Yeah. A lot of pay-per-views and have them not do so well as opposed to, really pack, some events and make them a big thing. So I think
always talk about the event. I know I always talk about it. And I feel like they could do that by just reducing the amount of pay-per-views.
If you go from 12 to 8.
Right, they kind of used to,
They have an insane roster.
Yeah.
They have an insane roster. We talk about the Bellator roster. They have a really deep roster. It's just they have so many events.
But they don't have a deep enough roster for this amount of shows.
Exactly.
40 plus shows.
But I mean,
it's too thin. The cards are too
many shows.
Pittsburgh card.
Too many fights on each card. I mean, I think that'd be the one. I don't really need to see 12 fights on a Saturday night. And I would be very happy to see 6 or 7 fights, but really good ones.
Yeah,
I mean, 8 fights. I think that's a solid option too. They might not want to reduce the amount of events.
Cards that have 8 or 9 that just happen that way are always so great.
Right.
Yeah. They're good for fans. It's a quick night.
I don't know if they're actually going to do it. I would certainly suggest that they do it. Yeah. Scale back the shows. Try to make the event, because there was a time when they were doing these pay-per-views where 1 through 8 they were all great fights, and now once you get to 6, 7, it's a little bit dicey.
With the sale of the company and everything, I think there was this big, feel my bicep. Look at how big we can run simultaneous shows in 2 ports of the globe.
Oh my God,
all
remember that?
Stuff, man. I mean, all of that stuff needs.
That was the Fox deal early on. Early on they did the Fox deal. Plus they were adding 11 Fight Pass shows. Remember that?
Yeah. No.
I mean, it was just way too much. So we'll see. I say once again, as I said on the show today, the next 15 months as far as the TV deal negotiation is going to be fascinating. All right, what else we got? Great first question. Let's go to number 2. Does anyone know why they haven't released the Malignaggi-McGregor sparring footage? They said they would release it after the fight. Did anyone actually think that they would release this?
No.
No. They're going to use it to build up the
pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, put that on pay-per-view.
Put that on
MalignaggiMcGregor.com.
It's canned pay-per-view. They could just roll it out and people would pay to see it.
$10.
Yeah.
On Fight Pass.
What do you think? They'd make some money.
They would make a crap load of money. Easy money.
One of the things
Put it on Fight Pass, subscriptions go up.
You mentioned you had the little Miss Q when you said the after MMA hour. One of the ideas you should have is maybe having Paulie on your show, your other show, as a guest,
MMAR. That's a great idea. I never thought of that. This Monday, I'm going to call him. You have his number?
I do. I'll give it to him.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Tell him I said hi.
they're not going to, I don't think they're going to do it. They're going to save it for the MMA fight that John Kavanagh is pushing for, right? Yeah. You saw the boxing match, now see them in the cage.
God.
All right, what else we got? It's not happening. Here we go. What happens to Bisping and GSP, whoever wins at UFC 217? So there is a line of thinking that if Bisping wins, he walks away. If GSP wins, he walks away. Or GSP wins, he doesn't defend the title even though he said it's in his contract. Let's just start with Bisping. What happens if he wins? Does he walk away?
Yeah.
You think he walks away?
I mean, he will have accomplished a hell of a lot, and I mean, let's just say it would be a really badass thing to do that. You go out there, you win the championship that you've been pursuing for your entire life. You go out there after you defeat the guy who knocked you out, Dan Henderson. You defeat George St. Pierre. I mean,
Anderson Silva before that.
And you had Anderson Silva there as well. So you got maybe the GOAT. Then you get maybe the other possible GOAT. I mean, I suppose if he needs the money, he can keep going. But what happens? What happens afterward? Is he has to defend the belt, and he probably would be an underdog against any one of those contenders, even after beating GSP, because you could probably explain away GSP's ring rust or whatever.
Right.
So it would be a great accomplishment, and
I think so, but man, he's just now gotten into the money, and it's like one of those weird things. You know he loves that aspect of being at the height of his money control of his career, and you do have a rubber match with Rockhold that's a possibility that you could make a case for. I think he would do that because it's like you just said. It's almost a poetic way to kind of go through this. I wouldn't say he had a journeyman career. He was a pioneer, basically coming out of Great Britain, and he brought so many shows there. He brought so much, curiosity from that side. He's done so much in his career, but he was always that penultimate fighter, right? Yeah. He was the guy who was not quite the guy who's the champion. He finally has it at the end, and to kind of wreck the guys at the very end who are considered some of the GOATs of the sport, really. You could see why, it would make sense for him to just be like, that's it, thanks guys, take care. But there's a part of me, you see Michael Bisping, you've known Michael Bisping, and I just think that maybe he would be like, yeah, let's do Rockhold again,
Yeah. So the one X factor of those is I feel
that
like
is true.
I mean, you see him wearing the sunglasses
and he takes a beating in these fights. It gets uncomfortable a little bit to watch him when he gets beat up.
It's very rare to have a champion towards the end of his career that has taken so much damage, and you're talking about retiring.
It's never happened.
GSP, yeah, but it was different because I feel like he's taken way more damage leading up to becoming champion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think he walks away, and just the fact that he's even mentioning it and talking about it, he's like, yeah.
Although that could be a promotional thing.
It also could be, yeah, but I think just the fact that GSP's coming back, and they've been talking, they've been going back and forth, that sells the fight in itself. I think, him going out there and saying, oh, I might retire, I think it makes sense. He's going to make a lot of money. He retires on top, beating one of the GOATs, just another guy to his list. And, I think it would make perfect sense if he would retire with a victory there. So I can see him doing that.
Then again, if he really wants that real money fight, if McGregor, changes things around and his next fight gets the welterweight belt,
would love that.
after McGregor becomes the welterweight champion, what does he need next?
He's the best in Europe.
A middleweight belt.
I think the more interesting question is Bisping over GSP. Like, I think if GSP wins, he sticks around. I don't think he has a big problem fighting Whitaker, but Bisping is the real, question mark at this point. So we shall find out less than 2 months away.
Probably it'll be one of those guys' last fights, though. That would be a prediction.
Okay, all right. You heard it here first. What else we got?
Fight.
Tyron Woodley recently expressed dissatisfaction with the pound-for-pound rankings. What do you guys think of the list, and who would you have on yours?
I don't even know who's on.
I haven't even seen the list yet.
Well, it's kind of weird because it used to be John Jones, but now he's off. Do we still consider John Jones pound-for-pound until he gets officially punished?
See, that's the thing. It is very. This is always a very subjective conversation anyway. But then you get into
he's not coming off a victory. Because it has officially been a
no contest.
So
DJ's there, GSP. Okay, if I had
Hamill beat him.
If I asked you guys right now, top of your head, any rules you want, because pound for pound is not really. I mean, it's a totally subjective thing.
Yeah.
Top 3 pound for pound. Hit me.
Ooh, I would say Demetrius Johnson, GSP.
Even though he hasn't officially come back, you put him back in there. GSP.
Well, I mean, we're talking about
I'm not talking about of all time. I'm talking about right now. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right now,
You put Demetrius Johnson all time?
well,
Damn.
among GSP, yeah, one of them.
Okay,
I think
fair.
he's top 3 for sure. I think DJ's very skilled. But right now, active fighters, I would say, probably.
Well, DJ has to be there 'cause you
DJ, yeah,
No, he's
DJ,
only all time.
DJ Daniel Cormier and
Connor?
Man, I don't know who the third would be.
You got Connor, you got Tyron Woodley, you got Michael Bisping.
That's so
You've
rough.
got Cody Garbrandt.
Talking about pound for pound, right?
Pound for
Yeah.
pound.
I guess I
Well,
would,
throwing out the champions.
I know.
Technically,
Yeah.
the champions would be the guys you're playing with here, right?
I guess I would throw. I'd actually throw
Stipe Miocic.
Chris Cyborg.
Oh, so women is an interesting thing. Some
Yeah.
people put women in there, some people don't.
Man, that's tough.
I mean, we're just talking about skill, right? I mean,
I know, but personally, I have 2 pound for pound lists. I have a
Okay.
women's pound for pound list and a male.
okay,
male pound.
if
I
it's
don't-
men's,
No,
I guess,
you play by your own rules, man. You know, don't
And
let me.
Tell me.
Demetrius Cormier,
This is
Cyborg.
your show.
Okay, Demetrius Cormier Cyborg. What do you got?
God. Well, Carney Nick Lentz, obviously top.
Yeah.
No.
Matt
I would go Matt Brown.
Yes.
Man,
Carney
I would say I still would have GSP up there. I think he's still up there. We're talking about current though. We're not
Yes,
talking about
yes,
all
yes.
time. Okay. So I would still have GSP because until he loses, it's hard for me to remove him. It's so tough because I still think John Jones.
Yes.
I just think he's got to be there until he's like until this thing plays out. He still has to be there. I know that you could discount or you can put an asterisk on it for the time being. But in my mind, he still has to be in that discussion. Man, that last one though, I don't know. Cormier really does come to mind. Just given there's the one hurdle, but he's just how he's handled himself with everybody else. I would say he's right up there too. But Demetrius Johnson, I mean, it's
So what's the 3?
so it's who did I start with?
GSP?
GSP.
Yeah.
I said John Jones, Cormier, but that
you're
would be
putting
like
Jones in there.
So I'd put Cormier and I would say Demetrius Johnson.
Wow.
Oh,
They'd
wow.
have to be like.
This is a mess, isn't it?
It is a mess.
That's always pound for pound.
Yeah.
I will say I'm disqualifying John Jones, so I'm not considering him. So
Fair
the
enough.
fact that he's not on
Fair
my
enough. I was not
list
considering him
has
as well.
nothing to do with his quality.
Right
of
now,
a
he's
fighter.
on the sideline.
So I will
Put
not.
him back
no,
here.
no, you can't do it. I'm gonna put Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Wow.
Because I
Number
think
one?
that she's been well. I'm not saying 1 to 3, but I'm saying
right.
Top 3.
and DJ probably DJ would be number 1, and then I'm not sure Jędrzejczyk and the other one I guess. It's either Stipe or Cyborg. I mean, I'm
Connor
thinking about
gets no love. Dual champion, no love.
Well, I'm
So that's
thinking
where it
about,
comes into-
you know,
you do-
I would say he's in
I
the
think
top
that
5.
the Diaz loss pushes him out of my top 3,
it's a 170.
even though he did come back out
Yeah.
and
Did win.
win,
50 pounds
and
heavier.
win
I
it.
know.
Mayweather.
He's 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he certainly is. He's certainly in the discussion.
And Woodley gets no love because he's the one that.
Woodley is up there, but I'm going to go with Miocic just because he's been finishing people and first round finishing them.
I think there are 2 no-brainers. If we're going to exclude John Jones, and I agree with you that at this point we should,
Yeah.
no-brainers are DJ and Cormier. I've made a very, very strong case that Cormier is one of the more underappreciated champions, and I think that he is number 1. I have him above DJ. This guy was undefeated at heavyweight. DJ lost at 135. This guy up is undefeated.
That's true.
Only lost once, to one man at 205, and one turned into a no contest, and then 182. So I feel like that's like the easiest one. Number 1 is Daniel Cormier, in my opinion. He's beaten everyone else. DJ's number 2. Number 3 gets a little tricky. I think it's a race between Connor, has to be in there because of the 2 belts, and 2 names that you guys haven't mentioned: Max Holloway. All those wins just beat Jose Aldo and Cody Garbrandt. I feel like and I
still
do
want to see one more fight from Cody. I would like to see, but I agree
just
with
think
you.
beating Dominic Cruz the way he did.
Yeah.
We had a little discussion last time, and I still
Yeah.
think that that's probably one of the most phenomenal things we've seen is what he did to Dominic Cruz. I just want to see maybe this next one. I don't know. It feels like it's
I
just
feel
a
like
little
he's still very
incomplete.
young
Yeah.
in his career still.
Fine, but I mean, I'm not
I
talking. I'm not
agree.
talking about all time. I'm just talking about currently.
The good thing about a pound for pound discussion is you can
It's fun.
always
It's
you
the
can
ultimate
always
barbershop.
discount, or you can yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You can always
We can talk
make a
about
case.
it. We can talk about it for hours
Yeah.
here. And I do.
I
like
think
to
amongst the
separate.
4 of us, we had each of us with a 3, so 4 of them. We probably. Not only we got 12 names because I think we did overlap a little bit, but we probably got about 8 names or 9 names in our top 3 among 4 of us.
And that's just current.
And then,
You
and then
did
we,
the
could,
all-time.
we could have a debate about women. Like you could put Joanna, you could put Cyborg 1. You
Yeah,
could,
I mean, I think either one of them could be.
Amanda
something-
Nunes should be in
And
that
Nunes is a
discussion
possibility
as well.
too.
Valentina
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko. So a very fun topic. I like that question very much. All right, let's move along here. If you were fighters, what would your walkout song be?
Wow, man.
It's a good question,
what?
right?
Rory McDonald, back when he finally realized he could pick his own music, he walked out to Tool's, I think it's 40 and 2. It's just a song. I've thought about that song before. I used to do an ESPN
What is
mailbag.
it? Can you sing it?
I don't know the lyrics.
Come on.
You want me to sing
it?
I don't know.
I don't even know what that song is.
Is
it heavy metal?
It's kind of a metal song,
Tool?
but like Tool, yeah.
40
and
and
it was so
2?
perfect for him.
Okay.
Like you watch it and you're like that. Because I thought about that song before. I actually pointed this out in a chat mailbag. I was like, that would be a great walkout song. Nobody's ever done it. And then he came out his first time ever, and that was the Robbie Lawler fight. And I thought that would have been my song if I was like picking it beforehand.
I love it.
Because I've contemplated this before.
Wow, impressive.
You got one, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I love the. I think about the fighters whose walkouts really get me going. I mean, I love the Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
You know, Joan Jett was probably one of the most. And I love the Jim Miller the Creedence stuff.
Margaritaville.
Yeah.
End of discussion. Jimmy Buffett.
I think that also I love the fighters who have come out to Johnny Cash and I guess I would go with a Johnny Cash. I think Johnny Cash is one of the most badass people in music. I mean, forget it. You could talk about all these gangsta people. There's nobody more gangsta than Johnny Cash was. And so I guess, and then one of my favorite songs of his would be Ring of Fire, even though it's an octagon, not a ring.
I love it. I love it.
I'll go with Ring of Fire.
Okay.
I would go with Face the Pain.
Face the Pain.
How come no one's come out to that song?
Dude,
How funny would that be?
That'd be hilarious.
Someone picked that? Oh my God.
That's a tough one.
What a great idea.
I think maybe Biggie Smalls.
Okay. Oh wow.
I really enjoy Frankie Edgar's walkout. You know, kicking
Nothing
the door.
Colombiano?
From
the home country to represent your
that gets
people?
me happy. That doesn't get me, pumped
Fair.
up.
All right.
Yeah, and Conor McGregor's, walkout is also pretty good.
It is a good
So,
I know yours.
I'll probably pick something with hip hop related. Probably.
Wait, but you got to pick a song. Can't be something related. I'm asking you for your song.
I
you're
would.
about to
Okay.
debut.
I would do probably Kicking the Door.
Kick in the door. All right. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting Spanish. You said you know mine.
What? Nice.
What is his?
Meditative spot.
Yeah.
Feeling good. And you're gonna come out to Three Little Birds.
That's the one. That's the one.
That gets you pumped?
Well, I mean, it's such a great song. Everyone loves
is a good
singing
song.
it.
It's true. That's a great
Three
one.
Little Birds. It puts me in a good mood. I'm a very anxious person, a very nervous person. I feel like it would calm my nerves.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my kids.
That's Johnny Bones. Is it only Johnny Bones? Anybody else did that?
Has he come out to that?
I thought he came out to like the beginning of that, and then the song Trance.
No, I think it was a different Bob Marley song.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
Some fighters
You
have.
would know for sure.
Tell Us Ladies has come out to it for the last few years.
Oh, that's right. I knew somebody had.
Yeah, Tell Us Ladies.
Yeah.
I liked it when Johnny Bones used to come out to Angry Johnny. Remember that? Do you remember that song?
No.
Early in his UFC career, he'd come out to, I don't know.
Championship?
Pre-championship.
Oh, wow.
Angry Johnny. It's just the name of the song. I can't remember the band.
That's a great.
Yeah.
That's the name of the song?
The name of the song.
Oh, wow, that's great. What a fun topic as well. All right.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in your pick, I must say.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I felt like a little Cain Velasquez. You come out. Cain has a great one.
he does.
About mariachi.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Okay, no, stick with it. Don't change your answer. All right, what else we got? Team, as of right now, what would be your prediction for the main co-main event for the big UFC pay-per-view first week of July?
Oof.
Oh my God.
First week of July. These used to be big, and then they started falling apart. Getting blown
They're
up.
the cursed card.
I know.
It's always cursed, that card.
And there's always the best intentions for them, and
Yeah.
they just never work out. But man, that's a toughie. Let me think. You could probably. Is Lesnar able to be back again? Because he's usually the guy they plug into these situations.
I think it would be like it would depend on when the date is, but I think he could be good to go.
I mean, I feel like you could always. People
just
always.
give me co-main is too tough. Let's just go with
Yeah.
main.
Nothing jumps off, man. I can't think of who would. Obviously, a Conor McGregor fight would
Maybe you do Conor versus Lee Ferguson winner, and then you save him for that one. Diaz.
I could see that.
Although it's almost
That
like,
would make more sense in a lot of ways. I mean, to build it up for something like that, but
Maybe DC and Gus.
Who?
Daniel Cormier and Alexander
Oh,
Gustafsson.
yeah. Or DC and
DC
Miocic.
and Miocic.
my needle is just sitting right there, not moving at all.
You know what? Maybe the even more interesting question is Bellator 200 is coming up, and I'm told that they're going to make a big deal about that one.
Because
What's
Bellator
that
100
card?
was like.
I know they totally ignored that one. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a little early.
I got a
got
prediction
one?
for the main
All right.
event. That's going to be Fedor's sweater against Rory's turtleneck.
Can I make a suggestion to my friends at Bellator? They take these good things and they kill them. You know, they beat that horse until past death. Like the sweater, like you have to kind of let things be and let them just kind of be there, but not really acknowledge. Like Roy comes out with a turtleneck, and every second tweet is about a turtleneck. You have to kind of let these things just kind of be exactly. Just let it linger.
You don't like that?
only
You don't like that main event then?
It only
I feel like they could do better.
It only enters the cult sphere, like the sweater.
That's fine.
When you just see it, and then it regs up every time. You know?
Yes.
So
you start acknowledging it. I don't know what happened to our screen there, but maybe that's a sign to wrap up.
They're sideways and we're
Everything's
sideways.
gone sideways here. I'll go with Conor versus Diaz.
yeah,
Ooh.
could be part 4 by that point. We don't know.
No,
Especially if
Nick
Diaz
Diaz. Nick Diaz.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. That would be crazy.
I like that though. That would
All
be
right, I think we got one more. What do we got? What do we got? Here we go. What is Chuck hiding under his hat?
Can I answer this?
Yes, please.
A lot of brains, right? Just brains are just.
Now, before you address this, Chuck, the last time I feel like your head was exposed on camera, was that during the MMA Live days? Look at the fear on your face right now.
No, I'm waiting for the camera. Like, what's going on?
Okay.
We're froze.
Let's just address that.
What?
The last time your head was exposed.
It's not me who started calling me the man in the hat. It was you.
Okay, so
when I came over, I was fully always.
Wow, there it is.
Fully always.
Wait, could we get that shot?
Fully wearing my.
You got the tattoos removed?
Oh my God!
Wow.
Look at that.
So I.
Well, that's
for
just
ESPN, I never wore a hat. I never wore a hat.
Right.
So this really became a thing when I started MMA fighting. So.
And you stuck with it. You feel more comfortable with the hat?
Either way.
It feels
I don't
like
wear
an
a hat.
extension of your head now.
I don't wear a hat if I'm just going to the
With
store.
like your kids and stuff?
I mean, I do sometimes, but a ball cap a lot of times, things like that.
Really? Not this?
No.
I feel like when I met you long before MMA fighting, you were always
never wearing this hat till he walks in the studio.
I've had these
We
hats.
take the training together sometimes. He's wearing a different hat.
Is that true?
True.
That's amazing.
But
I feel like you just broke kayfabe here.
Variations of the hat.
How many do you have?
I mean, I used to have a lot more, but they get old.
Yeah.
I probably have,
Is that your favorite?
I probably have like 8. Now I've got a few that are like this exactly.
Okay.
So,
in case you lose one, dirty it, rip it.
Yes.
Wow.
Keep 'em with
Is there a favorite brand?
Not really. He was
It may
trying to
soon
lobby.
be. Yeah, I'm trying to get him an endorsement deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Couple
great.
companies up in
Have you gotten a
Boston
shirt deal yet?
I haven't, but there's a guy out in Hawaii that's
Who's interested?
Well, I'm interested. I don't know if he is.
Okay. Wow. So there it is. Can we get another shot of that?
What?
Under the hat. There it is. Wow. How about this?
Wow.
That looks so strange on the set. You wearing no hat.
There's still some hair up there. It's just.
How often do we shave it?
I do it once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
Bald?
take it all
You go
down.
bald?
No, I just do no, not the number one, but the normal just razor, and I just take it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about your shirts. This week the hat. Next week we'll talk about your mustache.
Yes.
Fair enough. So stay tuned
What's
for
under
that.
What is under it?
There you go. Everyone wants to know what's under the hat. Now you know. And by the way, I've always struggled. Should it be the man in the hat or the man with the hat?
The man.
Well, you are as a father, you know that
Curious George is
Curious
with.
George has that's the with the hat. But so he is the man. in the
Okay.
hat.
If you want to make it the myth,
But are you-
It's got to be the man in the hat. Myth.
Oh, that's right.
So you can't do it the other way.
Right. But there's a T there. The myth. But you're not actually in a hat.
You're the myth.
You're not in a hat. Are you in a hat?
I don't know. We're breaking off
Semantics.
here. We've had this talk before, though, I think.
We have. I don't know if we've done it on air, but that's what's so much fun about after the MMA beat.
Could be the man under the hat.
Yeah, doesn't quite have the same sort of panache, if you know what I'm saying. All right.
Stick with what you
Let us leave it at that. Thank you very much for the questions. Great questions this week. Really enjoying that. Back next week. In fact, for those who like the consistency of the MMA beat, it appears that for the next couple months, we'll be rolling straight through. And, well, because the UFC is here in New York next month, there's not a lot of traveling. I'm away next week, but there's still going to be a show, so have no fear. Luke Thomas is back. That will be very exciting. I look forward to him navigating the questions.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you guys with that. For now, we shall say goodbye. It's a relatively quiet weekend in the world of MMA coming up, so enjoy some time off. We're back next week. Appreciate you standing by. Appreciate you watching the show. For Danny, for Chuck, for Jeff, for the rest of the crew, I am Ariel. Again, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the weekend.